Welcome back to Banana Tech Time. Today, we're diving into a topic that powers the internet behind the scenes, DNS, or the domain name system. It's something you've probably heard of, but might not fully understand. Don't worry, I'm here to break it down in a simple way. Let's get into it. First things first, what exactly is DNS? DNS stands for Domain Name System. It's often referred to as the phone book of the internet. But why? Well, think of how your phone stores contacts. Instead of remembering your friend's phone number, you just remember their name, like John, and your phone takes care of the rest, right? DNS does the same thing for websites. When you type a website address like www.google.com into your browser, DNS translates that name into an IP address, which is a series of numbers like 192.168.1.1. Every device on the internet needs these numbers to communicate with each other. Without DNS, we'd be stuck typing those long, hard to remember IP addresses instead of simple website names. And trust me, nobody wants that. So, how does DNS actually work? Let me break it down for you. When you enter www.google.com in your browser, your device doesn't know where to find it just yet. It needs to find the IP address. So, your computer sends a request to a DNS server. This server is a kind of giant directory that stores domain names and their corresponding IP addresses. If the DNS server has the IP address for www.google.com in its records, it will send that back to your computer. In less than a second, your browser now knows the exact location of the website, and it can load the page. If the DNS server doesn't have the IP address on hand, it'll ask another server that might have the info, and this process continues until it gets the answer. That's how you're able to access websites so quickly. Now, why should you care about DNS? Well, DNS makes the internet user-friendly. Imagine trying to visit www.facebook.com if you had to remember a string of numbers like 172.27.12.174 every time. It'd be nearly impossible to keep track of. DNS also allows us to access websites easily, from emails to social media to online shopping. But that's not all. DNS is critical for things like online security and performance, which we'll get into a bit later. Let's take a closer look at what happens behind the scenes when you request a website. Here's the DNS process in more detail. You type a website address like www.example.com into your browser. Your device checks its local cache, a stored list of previously visited sites, to see if it already knows the IP address for that site. If it doesn't have it, your device sends the request to a DNS resolver, which is typically provided by your internet service provider. The resolver looks for the IP address and may ask several other servers, called root DNS servers and authoritative DNS servers, until it finds the correct one. Once it finds the IP address, it sends it back to your computer. Your computer can now connect to the website using that IP address, and voila, the page loads. This whole process happens in a fraction of a second, and most people never even notice it. But without DNS, browsing the web would be much more complicated. Now let's talk about security. DNS isn't just there for convenience. It's also an important part of internet security. Some malicious websites try to trick users into visiting them, either to steal data or infect your device with viruses. But with DNS filtering and secure DNS servers, we can block access to these dangerous sites. Some DNS services also offer DNS over HTTPS, DOE, which encrypts your DNS requests, making it harder for hackers or snoopers to see what websites you're visiting. It's just one way DNS helps keep us safer online. So, to sum everything up, DNS is the system that helps translate human-friendly website names into the numeric IP addresses that computers understand. It makes browsing the web much easier and faster. DNS also plays a big role in internet security and privacy. So, while it works quietly behind the scenes, it's an essential part of our everyday internet experience. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit that like button and make sure to subscribe for more easy-to-understand tech content. If you've got any questions about DNS or anything else, leave a comment below. I love hearing from you, and I'll do my best to answer. I'll see you in the next video.